get the moderation stuff going. And we are good for go. All right. Happy Thursday evening. Boy, shit that's going on down the world. We're going to have a little bit of a fun time talking about that in a little bit. Let's get that over there like so. Okay. Decided we're going to break out something new because I am not enjoying working on the stamen right now, and every time I try working on it, it's like there's just too many small parts that I can't focus on Thursday night talking and working on something with that kind of level of intricacy. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Let's put it that way. Jesus Foxbase noise, exactly. Joe, I just heard an interview on Midas Touch with your Secretary of State, who I think is running for governor. I like what she said. You got some good people in your state, Joe. Y'all got some good people in your state. Yeah, it's the Fago. It's the Fago. Y'all got some good shit. So, anyway. I'm going to start with this. I'm not sure who's going to be coming in and that kind of thing. But I feel like almost I got to start with a certain slogan. Before the Thursday night show starts, because the Thursday night show is primarily me venting, right? Well, in the water that has lead. That has lead. Yeah, but I gotta tell you, I'm hoping it's the right person. The person I heard you talking about was great. Are we grumpy yet? Yes, Nick. And if people aren't grumpy or upset, something's wrong. I'm just saying, not in the water. So the first thing, let's just start with this. Yes, I consider myself woke. I am proudly woke. Yes, I consider myself very much for DEI. Yes, you think you want to own me as a lib? Have the fuck at it. You ain't gonna succeed. So, how's that for a good way to start? You think you own the libs? You don't own this one. And you never will. I just wait all week for this. Oh, I'm glad I actually... Me too, Nick. So, I'm just going to say it. Hey, Tom, what's going on, brother? You know, it's always good to start with... Sorry, I was trying to get... this is one of the old ones. Yeah, it is. I love the old runners that don't have the pressed in... the cut-in letters. Anyway. So, have fun owning this lib. Here's the thing. This is a crazy fucking week. I mean, it is like another one of these. It's you think every week, can it get possibly worse? It's like the Kingsman Churches scene. Oh God, yeah, dude, that's a good scene. I'm not a big fan of the series or the movie, but that scene I thought was at least kind of fun to watch. So here's what we got. The world's getting crazier. I mean, like every time I think, can it possibly get worse? And the answer is, yeah, we want to reach another level of depravity. We're going to get to how it is that some people can get to that. I read something very interesting earlier today. But, the insanity of what's going on right now is just on a different plane. Yeah, I get to hear Angry George. Oh, yeah. And I try to, this is the one time I'm going to do this. My Thursday nights are the time I'm doing it. I'm not going to do this during the week. You'll get the nice pleasant George. But the amount of, and I guess I'm going to put it this way. If people aren't getting upset, what is wrong with you? Honestly. I don't care. This isn't if you're a lefty or a righty, if you're a Democrat or Republican, if you're a pro-trans, anti-trans, it's got nothing to do with that. The level of insanity, and I mean that in terms of insanity, the level of destruction that's being laid down right now, I'm trying to think to myself, how is it even possible? Yeah. So I'll start with this. When the president of our country starts by saying, when they're asked, are you going to follow the Constitution? And they go, I don't know. You have to talk to my lawyers. You took an oath to the Constitution to defend the Constitution. When you were there in January 21st, when you were there, your hand on that thing that you don't believe in, it's called the fucking Bible. When you put your hand on the Bible and you say, I take an oath to the Constitution, and then later on say, I don't know if I have to uphold the Constitution. What the fuck is that about? Okay. Now, anybody wants to come in and just say, well, he's just kidding. He doesn't know. Don't continue to give excuses to somebody who has no, I'm going to put it this way. He has no moral compass except for one that points completely to his center, himself. That's it. Sure, I'll swear. I guess I grew up in this way. You tell somebody you're going to do something, and I'll give an example. The reason I started the session late. In fact, I'm still in my work shirt. I started the session late because we did an install today, and we had a problem. At the end of the day, client calls up and says, hey, having a problem. Something isn't working. I'm like, my first thought is, well, you know what? It sucks. I've got to get home, but I'm going to go over to this guy's house because it's the right thing to do. Because I look at it as this way. As a client, you hired me. We made a good faith bond. You're giving me money. I'm giving you a service. We made a good faith agreement to do that. If I didn't go out and try to help him, it would be bugging the shit out of me, because I know that this is the right thing to do. When somebody needs something, I'm not perfect. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting myself on any kind of a fucking pedestal. King James, surely you knew this first James the worst, but Trump will sit and play his fiddle if had musical class. Oh God, yeah. So, I will go out of my way to help out my clients, and I feel a certain moral obligation, not just a financial obligation, a moral obligation, because I've been thinking a lot about this. Why is it that when things don't, why do I care about the success or failure of the business that I work for? And it's because I care about doing right by the people I work with, and I care about my client base. Everything is all about self these days. Yes, it really is. I think as a society, this is why I'm not looking to blame the president as being the sole arbiter of this. And like I said, I'm going to get to something in a little bit, because I read something today that really kind of put the finger more on what's going on. Hey, Manny, what's going on, brother? Manny, just so you know, if you're tuning into a Thursday night the first time, there may be some model work, but it's mostly going to be George going on a fucking rant. So here we go. So I feel like a personal obligation. If I'm in an arrangement with somebody, or if I see somebody need something, I'm going to try to help them out as much as I possibly can. Like in basketball, LeBron is always constantly declaring himself the GOAT, but he just keeps flopping. Right. Yeah. I'm sorry. Team is team. People are people. You work with people around you, and you try to help the people around you. The guy in charge right now doesn't give a fuck about you, doesn't give a fuck about your family, doesn't give a fuck about your community, doesn't give a fuck about anybody except himself. Oh, what a grinds gear, my gears. Oh yeah, get ready for it, man. This is Thursday nights. This is what happens. He doesn't give a shit about anybody. If you are not part of, as somebody, I think something I heard today, if you are not part of his, if you're not with him, you're against him. And if you could be like a murderer, And in fact, he's trying to get our Justice Department now to release somebody who was convicted of who denied the results of the 2020 election, and has been found guilty in the state of Colorado, sentenced by her peers in a legitimate case, and gone to jail. And our fearless leader's response to that is, hey, DOJ, go see what you can do to get her out, because she was helping him. She is a convicted motherfucking criminal. But that's okay. But as long as you're a criminal on my side, that's okay. Then you're not really a criminal. You could be doing God's good work, like the Pope, and you will get raked over the coals because you don't agree with the philosophy of our fearless leader. You know, put on glasses and a few 100 pounds, be watching George P. Griffin. Yeah, could be. So, unconscionable. And the thing that's really bad, hey, Ken, what's going on, brother? And the thing that's really bad, it's if it were just him, another couple things. It's like the last week has been rather revelatory and informative. Over the last week, I read some more stuff and seen some interesting stuff about how he's surrounded himself with people who, in many ways, are steering that ship. How the hell do you go from being told, you know what, you just lost the case 9-0 in the Supreme Court, to, no, I was told I won 9-0. How do you come up with that? That's like me saying, no, that color right there is black. Everybody's telling me it's black. What? Why are you telling me it's white? That's not white. That's black. Everybody around you is like, what the fuck are you saying? He's doing on the grants of the universities like Harvard is basically his vindictiveness. Oh, absolutely. Let's be honest. Everything he is doing right now, going after the law firms, going after the universities, going after individuals, all of these different people, going after his political, the people who went up against him in his trial, all of that. Sounds good, Joe. All of that is basically vindictiveness. It's 100% vindictiveness. I'm going to continue to bring this up. Not how I grew up. Not how I grew up. I grew up in a household where my parents showed us that, you know what, you want to do right, you help people, you don't fuck them. You don't go around terrorizing people. The funny crap, his press secretary spewed on lives. He's from fentanyl. Oh yeah, absolutely. It wasn't his press secretary. It was his head of the Department of Justice, Pam Bondi, who comes out and just says 258 million people were saved because we stopped fentanyl. I'm like, 75% of people in this country were saved? I don't know. Anybody here do fentanyl? I mean, do you? I'm not saying that we don't know people who do, but I'm going to take a guess here and say 258 million people weren't saved from using fentanyl. That bullshit answer is unbelievable. 330. So basically every man and woman and child in this country was saved from fentanyl. Wow. Pam Bondi, thank you so much. Can you do me a favor? Don't fuck me. Don't lie to me, and don't fuck me. You want to give me some realistic information? I'm listening. I'm listening. Don't lie to me. Listening to that group of sycophants, the ones who are sitting there. Have you ever seen anything more disgusting? Hey, Handren, what's going on, brother? Yep, we all saved. All hail the orange one. Yep. Have you ever seen anything more disgusting than the people that are surrounding him, who are just sitting and saying, you're the best. Without you, we would be so fucked. Oh my God, you're the best. Really? And I'm trying to think, if I hear that coming from somebody, if you got a bunch of yes people around you, you got the wrong people around you. Hello, Abdul. How are you? It's not a lie. You're still alive. That's true. In a way, you're right. Because if it weren't for Pam Semi, I would have probably taken fentanyl. Right. And Tom, you would have taken fentanyl. Everybody here would have taken fentanyl. If it weren't for her saving me, we'd all have taken that fentanyl. My wife uses fentanyl on her patients, though. Well, again, I'm assuming that there's probably a legit reason for using it, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But the amount of vilification that that stuff has had, anyway. So one of the things I heard today, which I thought was rather interesting, is why is it that you have people who go around with crosses on them? You know, crosses on their ears, crosses on their necklaces, crosses tattooed on them, who have this vile belief in whatever crazy Christian religion they've got. Oh, yeah. But no matter how you slice and dice it, this is all the result of BS we went through the last 4 years. If the other side of the aisle did a better job, we wouldn't have this now. Oh, don't get Handren. Yes and no. The Democrats have done a lot of damage. They've lost credibility. I'm a Democrat, and I came this close to leaving the party, and I'm still on the fence, right? But I will say this: they handed that back, but to expect that this lunacy and that the Republicans are doing the same crazy shit that the Democrats were doing is untrue. Untrue. The amount of if I think if we actually did a little survey here and just looked at how many laws and bills were trying to be run through that have been found to be unconstitutional, you'd find that the other side's done worse. And another one is the amount of gerrymandering. Don't get me wrong, Democrats have done the same thing. But the amount of gerrymandering, the amount of trying to get rid of your election base and everything like that, the Republicans have turned it into a science. A science. It's the result of the negligence and the they're trying to shove down everyone's throat. The white folks, which he saved 240% of them. Exactly. It's the result of the negligence and their nonsense agenda they were trying to shove down everybody's throat, regardless if half the country agreed or not. I'm not disagreeing. Handren, I'm not disagreeing. The Democrats have definitely tried to do things in a way. The biggest mistake that the Democrats have always done is I think it's something called a litmus test. That they are you really a Democrat? It's like, fuck you. You know, because I might have a couple of conservative views or that type of thing, party's big enough to support everybody. You can't have litmus tests. But anyway, on the flip side of that, now we're seeing the flip. I'm going to get into one more thing, and then we're going to jump into the thing that I heard earlier today, read earlier today. So the thing that that's most frightening is take a look at what is actually happening now with the president and his family, their meme coin, his ability to cause markets to fluctuate, and the amount of money that they're making. Our president is going to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi, right? And why is he doing that? He is going there not for anything that has to do with us. On the taxpayer's dime, he is going there to go look at how he's going to create Trump this and Trump that. Towers, golf courses, whatever. Okay? Now, for all the grifting that others have done, not like that. That's straight up grifting. I'm paying for you to fly there so you can go get your deals done on that, because what else are you going to be discussing with these countries? Yeah, there's probably some stuff that would be discussed. Are you going to be discussing Iran? Are you going to be discussing what's happening over in Pakistan? Likely not. You have the far left Democrats and the far right Republicans. The ones in the middle are few in between. Yes, agreed. I think both parties have lost their way. I think you're 100% right. Well, first of all, the Republicans have definitely gone to MAGA, and that's not the Republican Party. Do you remember when the Republican Party, and maybe some of you young folk don't remember what the Republican Party was? The Republican Party was about fiscal conservancy, being, fiscally conservative, and to some degree, socially conservative, with some tendencies to not be, but they're also willing to talk. The rules have changed. The rules have become one of, you know what? It's more important for us as Republicans to win than it is for us to let a Democrat win. And if democracy gets in the way, if the Constitution gets in the way, if laws get in the way, sweep it out of the way. It's better that we win and make sure that the Democrats don't. And that is a level of science that the Republicans have kind of honed in on to get this going that the Democrats have never done. The Democrats have always been pussies. Let's be honest. The Democrats have always been just, wusses in how they do things. They're always surprised. They think everything is going to go well. Oh, we're going to have our base over here. Look at this. We have the Hispanic caucus and we have the Black caucus. Oh, they're always going to be our friends, but you're not doing anything to help them. That's the concern. He no longer cares if he's doing anything illegal or for personal interest. A little example, brother. I'm in the trucking business right now, and we have had drivers from overseas that don't understand a lick of English and have caused innocent people dying just a few days ago. Yep, Handren, I get it. And guess what, Handren? You're one of the first people I thought of. Curse Green YT. Cursed Green. I think so. Cursed, who are you? You're diversified as an organization like you need to do the first time due to the previous policy. They came over and helped the big trucking companies. Oh, yeah. Look at Handren. But you're in the worst shape right now because I'm gonna assume very shortly what I changed my YT user. Dude, what is it? What was it before? Let's go back, Handren, and just for a second, in another few months, will you even have a job? Because there's not a lot of stuff that's going to be moving very shortly. Have you been, Handren? I'm assuming you kind of follow what's coming into the ports in the United States. They're down 35% right now, and we haven't hit the worst of it yet. The guy who runs the Oregon port, the guy who runs the LA port, they're both like, there's stuff that's not coming in. So, Handren, boats don't come in. No inventory. No inventory? Why do we need truckers? Yeah, we all worry about that. Oh, and by the way, this is the same. So our president recently also, let's see, remember compromise for the greater good. Then we're good days. Yeah, Ken, 100%. I miss those days. Wait, be right back. All right, sounds good. I'll be here. I promise you. Going to be here for at least another half an hour. So Handren, for example, I kind of think that there's something to be said about what he said about Hollywood and bringing some of that stuff back and maybe looking at why we lost that. Once again, though, he's going after the countries. Why are you attacking the countries? The studios were the ones who said, we're shipping this over there, we're shipping that over there. It's the same thing he did with China's the bad guy. China's the bad guy. The corporations are the ones who went overseas. Hey, Mr. Trump, instead of making your hat in China, your shirt in Bangladesh, Seems of ports and truck routes leading to and from almost empty. Exactly. And this is the problem. So instead of going after the countries and saying Canada's bad for taking our movie studios and China's bad for taking our business and making this shit and it's taking money out of our pockets for manufacturing. Okay, you're right. But you're going after the wrong people. Think about it this way. It's hilarious how one of the lackeys saying the tariffs are going to bring back jobs back things is going to improve the life. Yeah, and we're going to get into what we're talking about with regards to manufacturing in just a second. Thing is, like you said, instead of targeting the countries, the ones bringing the big companies who are from here. Yeah, exactly. The companies are the ones, and this is why our president has fucked it up and gone after these countries, and not the corporations. If you wanted to do right by the corporations, by us as people, you would find ways of turning to all these companies and just saying, what can we do to bring manufacturing back here? Not putting tariffs on the countries. The country's like, fine, fuck it. Here's your tariff. By the way, I'm not sure if anybody's seen some of the bills that some of these people are getting from their tariffs. Guess what? The company is paying that tariff. So you might actually be doing everything right. You're still getting screwed. There's also a report of a boat came in with only 10 containers. Yep, exactly. Wait, do you remember when I asked if you could go live before? Possibly, Kirsten. Hey, dude, I apologize. Um, Maybe I'm getting old. I forget a lot of stuff, so it's possible that we could have gone live together. We could have had that request. Unfortunately, it probably won't be tonight because this is the tirade show. Yeah, I forgot my older user. Exactly, old user. So, go after those. By the way, one other thing, and then I'm going to get into the empathy thing. I don't understand. I think we're being gaslit. We're going to bring manufacturing into this country. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't it be great to have some level of manufacturing return to this country? On news while driving today, did he make a deal with UK? He says he made a deal with the UK. My understanding is I haven't looked at it fully. I'm not sure it's a full deal, but I want to take a look at it before I comment on it. One of the things I try not to do is I try to come at least with this with at least some level of like I don't like to talk about things that I don't feel like I have 100% confidence in or knowledge in. This causes global crisis. Apparently, companies in China have put in the stop order at factories, so thousands of workers are out of work and unpaid. Yeah, exactly. So guess what? This is hurting everybody, and we'll get to that empathy thing because that to me is another very important thing. So now we have a guy, a president, and his ilk who are basically saying we're going to bring. That's when I asked if you could go. It was a month ago. Okay, I think I remember that now. So he's saying we're going to bring manufacturing here to the United States so we can bring back high-paying jobs. Does anybody really think he's going to bring back high-paying jobs? Honestly, in your last shorts. Okay. Again, dude, that might be. I think I remember somebody asking. So I don't. You're thinking you're going to be bringing in these factories here, and you're going to be paying higher wages? Then why don't you do this? Why don't you start talking about raising the minimum wage? So what higher paying jobs are going to be coming back here? So one, the Republicans don't want to increase wages for people. A $7 and what, 7.25, 7.50 minimum wage. Thank God here in Massachusetts it's $15. Even that's too little in my opinion, but okay, let's start with that. So you're going to bring back these high paying jobs. What's happening about the president? Everything is happening with the president. Sorry for the short answer, but everything that he is touching is turning to shit, unlike his gold house. We're going to get to the Dolly thing in a little bit too. There will be a leak somewhere that reports that deals with countries all have an asterisk where, oh, of course they are. Oh, yeah, videos. All right, yeah, China, but Americans. Yeah. So these factories are now going to come back here. Let's just assume we open up all these factories. Now the workers want to unionize. They want to organize because you know what? We want to make a fair wage. We want actually to get part of that high paying job. Absolutely not. You really think the corporations that are going to come here and open up these factories are suddenly going to become so magnificent? Oh, you know what? We really do believe we want to help out the worker. We want to pay them a substantial amount of money. No, they don't. What? Can I ask a question? Anybody ever seen a corporation that has been like, there's a few, but generally speaking, ever seen a corporation that's like 100% pro-union? Pro-union. And it's like, yeah, you know what? As soon as we open up a factory, we're absolutely going to like let our employees organize, or we're going to set up a meeting with them. We're going to give them like whatever's fair. Doesn't happen. So this bringing manufacturing back here, all this is going to do, this is going to do that. He doesn't even do it now. Delivery guys. Exactly. That's the point. That's the main reason the big corporations have moved their business out so they can pay less. Exactly. That's exactly it, Handren. That's exactly it. So this whole bullshit of we're going to bring manufacturing over here so we can have high-paying jobs here. You're lying. You're once again, you're gaslighting us. This is you helping out your corporation buddies, opening up factories here at minimum wage with no benefits or anything like that, so that upper management can make more money, and it's all here. And we got, guess what? We all become little slaves, little indentured servants. Not available now are service industry jobs. And by the way, service industry jobs don't make any money. I gotta go eat pizza. Have a great day. Nice talking to you again. You too, Cursed Green. Good luck today. So, once again, we're being lied to. And we're buying into so much garbage. So much garbage. And like I said, this isn't a Republican and Democrat thing. I want people to understand. It's like it always comes back to, well, the Democrats. It's like I'm not looking to hear about that. I don't really care what Trump's political party is. In fact, I don't consider him a Republican. He's not. He's not a traditional Republican. He's whatever the Republican Party has become, which is, in my opinion, a bunch of fucking grifters. Or because the wages they are willing to pay. The generation won't take it. Like you said, if they want to fix, they got to have a higher minimum wage. 100%. 100%. You can't even survive on $15 an hour. How is $7.25 even feasible? So if they were pro-union, the shareholders would shit. Exactly. Are we not been the puppets? Are we not been the puppets already? We are the puppets. But Nick, we're becoming more puppets because, oh yeah, they're going to bring manufacturing back here and we're going to get high wages. Don't delude yourself. All the union busting that's been done, you really think that they're going to say, oh yeah, sure, you want $20, $30 an hour? Fuck you. You're taking $7.25 because that's the minimum wage in Arkansas, in Texas, in whatever. That's where they're going to open up their factories. They're going to open these things up and it's basically going to be just like in China. You're going to have you're going to work for this guy for next to nothing and you're going to like it. I bet some CEOs personally are pro-union, though. I bet some CEOs personally are pro-union. I'd like to know how you come up with that theory, and I'm being serious, Ken. I'd like to know what that is. So, with all of this being said, why is it that this is so frustrating? And why is it that, look, I'm not going to, by the way, this is me being unleashed. This is George vocalizing because I don't think I'm going to change minds. Yeah, they came. What was it? It's going for figures worth of 8 figures worth and 5 isn't working government job. How the hell that happens? Yeah, exactly. So, I don't expect I'm going to change minds. If you're hardcore MAGA, I'm not going to say anything here. Georgia Unleashed, new model kit. Yeah, I'm going to start working on it in a second. Usually by around the 40-minute mark, I start to kind of slow down and start working on things a little bit more. But I unbagged it at least. I got the model unbagged. I mean, give me some credit here. But I'm not going to change hearts. And I think that's one of the transitions I'm trying to figure out. I'm not going to change hearts. The thing that I read today is like, it's hard if you do not see the level of destruction you're causing to people here in this country. I mean, you have unleashed the new model kit. Yeah. If you're not seeing that sending people to a foreign country without due process, if you're not seeing that taking away people's Medicaid, if you're not seeing trying to, to shut down cancer research, to go after universities, if you're not seeing this in any bad light, like, well, no, that all makes sense to me. If you're seeing it in that way, the comment that I read today was there are certain people who just have no empathy, have no ability to look at the suffering of others, to look at somebody else's needs and say, I can't do that to somebody. If you think about if you listen to like Trump's words and you listen to the amount of glee he has, like when he was talking about opening up Alcatraz, and he's talking about how Alcatraz is like, it was a tough prison, it was a vicious prison. One guy tried to escape and I think he got eaten by sharks. And you're listening to that, it's like there's a certain glee in him saying that. I'm going to just soften it up a little bit. I've said this many times. I don't hide it. I'm Christian. I'm an Episcopalian. This college graduation speech was idiotic. Oh, yeah, that thing down in Auburn was awful. Auburn? Alabama? I'm Christian. And my views have always been ones of, you know what? You do right by people. You always start by doing right by people. Who the hell invites that? A fucking idiot. Thing is changing a point of view, especially in an older generation. It's almost impossible once you have the majority or half of the input. No, Candor, I'm not going to give you that. I think it really comes down to, are people, do you have an empathy inside you? Do you have a heart inside you that just says, I can't look at the suffering of children. I can't look at the suffering of people who are incarcerated illegally. I can't look at the suffering of people who are suffering with cancer. I can't look at the suffering of people who can't afford. They're cutting Meals on Wheels, guys. We're cutting food and funding. We're cutting an oil program to support people who just don't have enough money. So this kind of helps them get oil into their house during the winter season. You look at all that stuff. They're cutting all this stuff willy-nilly, like just cut. And they're saying they're doing it because of even empathy. The definition will change form to another. Well, I hope not, because empathy literally is, and I'm sorry, this is going to take a Christ-like view on it. Empathy is looking at somebody who's got lesser than you, who's suffering, and doing right by them, helping them out. So when I see people wearing crosses, tattooed crosses on them, and they take this anti-human rhetoric and start going after people, it frosts me to no end. To no end. You are literally taking away a core fundamental belief and augmenting it. Perhaps it's the worst, even in the woke areas. People are just too selfish and thinking of themselves only. Again, Tom, I think I would caution and just say there are many who are like that. And certainly our leadership is like that. The people that sit around Trump are they have no empathy. Crosses are like the idols this generation are idolizing. Or in other words, worshiping without realizing. Yes. In fact, the amount of idolatry, here's a great example. Anybody see the prayer meeting that Trump had, where all of these religious figures, including the Greek Orthodox bishop, which fucking freaked me out, all standing behind him or around him, and they're all, they're doing like a prayer song, and Trump is sitting there. What are you, the fucking Messiah? That's what they're making him out to be. He is the coming of the second Christ. That's how these guys look at him. He is the second Christ. We're going to be experiencing the 10 Commandments soon. I truly hope that in the long term, that we will regain our sensibility. It's going to be a long road. Might not be in my lifetime. But I hope that in history, he and his people will be vilified for, he isn't the second Christ, he is the Antichrist. He is the Antichrist. But even the Antichrist is sometimes comes to his people, and he looks like the Christ. And people are like, oh my God, look at this. This is great. Who the fuck celebrates gold as much as him? Nobody. Yeah, you look at all that, and then these pseudo-Christians look at him and they're like, this guy's great. Are you out of your rocker? History will always repeat itself. It's inevitable. 100% Andrew. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. This is going to be a wave, and this is why I feel somewhat optimistic. We're going to get through this tough time. It's going to be evil. I may not even live to see the brighter side at the end of it, but I'm optimistic that I'm going to see something. But trying to put a positive spin on this. This is why every morning after we're done, it's like, look, go out there and do something good for somebody. Help out somebody. It is difficult to help people. It's not in everybody's nature to reach out. I get it. I struggle with this quite a bit. I'm an introvert, and I struggle with this quite a bit. Fuck them kids. Nice. Yeah, Hannah, by the way, when you're saying it's old people who aren't going to change, no. Young people also are the same way. I look at it as, and I'm gonna say something that's probably going to offend people, quite a few people here. I do believe that America has lost its way because it refuses to be intelligent. We don't care. We'd rather be moved by whatever sporting event is going on. We've got all this online, this computer shit, all of this online shit that's going on. We've got you know, sports booking. We got TV shows up the wazoo. We've got all of this stuff, all these distractions. Why do I need to read anymore? Doors box has definitely been open. Let's just hope we can shut it again before hope escapes. Mavis just says, "Hi, Mavis." Now my language comes down. Thank you for letting me know, Nick. Mavis, how are you? Good to well, I'm not seeing you, but I'm glad that you're seeing me. Hello. You know, and in fact, Nick, I'm glad that you brought that up, because one of the things that I think is very important is I don't really care what happens to me at this point, because again, I'm old. I'm worried about your daughter, your son. I'm worried about the kids around here. I'm worried about my daughters. This is why I do this. Big smiles on this. Oh, I love it. You got to have the masses uneducated, otherwise, how the hell? Yeah, exactly. And that's the point. And this is what we're doing. We're distracting people with so much stuff. So it becomes very easy to sit there and feed them this garbage. Smartphone is one and only tool that is causing the downfall. I don't think so. No. We allowed it to happen. We have our technology and what's going on, all of it has outpaced our ability to process it. It is moving at such a pace that we cannot process it. Just educated enough to know how to run the machines and enough to know how badly they're getting screwed. And that's exactly my point about manufacturing. Oh, we're going to bring manufacturing back here. Why am I working 12-hour days? I got next to no pay. I'm burned out. My boss is yelling at me all the time. I'm literally feeling like a slave, because you're going to be treated like a slave. Did I get any ducks lately? Rabbit season! Not duck season. Rabbits. So, question then, Nick. Have you got any rabbits? How can you shoot a rabbit? We got rabbits in our backyard all the time. Love those little things. Unfortunately, I wish I could get close to one. Yeah, I knew what you were saying. I noticed I didn't say the other thing just because you got kids. Rabbit and waffles. Rabbit and waffles. All right, let's see if we can get some parts put together, shall we? C20, C19. Hunting rabbits? Rabbit hunting. So, folks, I'm going to say this again. I'm not going to change minds. If you have no empathetic soul, there's nothing I can do to suddenly have you, oh my God, there's this, I think we've been kind of, yes, had that in Toronto, whole meal. So how was it? Was it tasty? No, it's too much work. They're fast, but it's spring squirrel season. Are they slower? And are they tastier? Very tasty. I'm not going to eat them, but thank you for letting me know that, Tom. We can't change people. We can't change the way people are wired. There's some part, if you cannot see how things are supposed to be, nobody's going to change you. We've been done a little bit of a disservice. I mean, I love the story of A Christmas Carol. I think it's a fantastic story. I've loved every movie of it I've ever seen. But I also think that it is absolute rubbish that in the end, I was going to hope for the best and help out where I can. Manny, and that's exactly it. And it's also good to know that there are going to be some people we're not going to be able to change in any way, right? For them, they butcher. Once you get the dog on them, they bark back. Woo, really? Nasty little beasties. But we're not going to be able to change people's minds, right? Hey, Red. Good morning. How are you? But it is important that if you have a modicum of sympathy inside, if you have some level of sympathy, you go out there and you show people a kindness and a love. You don't sit there and try to grift on them. Would you do that to your friend? Let me ask you this. If you guys had a really good friend, and over the years you started noticing, it's like, you know what? Every time I deal with this guy, they keep taking something from me. It's like they tell me one thing and then they do something else. Hey, I need to have, can I borrow $20? I just got to pay for gas or whatever. And the next thing you know, they're going out and gambling it or something like that. Or they come on over and they basically abuse you. They talk crap about you, even though you help them out, right? At some point, you might just say, this isn't working out. This person, and you start to develop a sense of, are they actually ready for online school? Nice. Handwritten, nice. It's always good when people say hi to each other. I love it. Seen a person pretending to be attentive. Everything he talks about was from the 1950s. It's not him. He's just a puppet, by the way. I would take a look at the people behind him. In particular, the guy that scares me the most, I've said this before, it's his little bald-headed crony. Today is my finals. Yes, excellent. Best of luck on your finals today, Red. So the private controls so much of our lives. Kind of funny, but from athletes to politicians to big business owners, not big in the empty department. What a funny species. Oh yeah, we're funny species. I'm not good. I totally agree with you on that. 19 and 20. Okay, let me see if I can find these parts first. 19 and 20. There we go. At least let's see if I can get a couple parts cut off of here. Putin Jr. Yeah, Red. Exactly. So you're not going to be able to change minds. Weak species, more like it. I think I kind of actually like that it's weak, because I think that means we can get strong over time. I think it's going to take time. I think it's going to take time. But I do think that we're in a very challenged spot right now. And I am not going to change people's minds. I'm not going to sit there and have like a Christmas Story ending. Oh my God, I've been visited by 3 ghosts, and suddenly, oh my God, I see that I've been wrong my entire life. You're not going to have that happen. The craziest rise to the top. Yep. Hope today's going to be good. I'm sure it will be. Bald-headed crony, Giuliani. He's one of them. Steve Miller. Trump is a fool. He's opinionated. He's a crazy guy. But the guy behind him is straight up evil. I'm telling you, you look at him and it's like, I am getting it. I don't use this very often, but I'm getting Hitler vibes off of him. Like, that guy would become Hitler in a second. Human beings in general are weak. My creatures that without a guidance, without rules set in place, who are no different than the animal. Well, that is kind of what separates us. Our purported intellect and ability to be able to be empathetic to others. That's what separates us. You're not going to wake up and realize Tom's right. I need to finish this heartbeat. Nice. I might realize that at some point, Tom. I might have to get back to it sooner rather than later. That's the case. I should be ruling something, Miller. Was the backbone of the eagle. Wrong Miller, but okay. Oops, wrong Miller. Exactly. Wrong Miller. Polycap F. Let's see if I can even find that. That looks like an F. Steve Miller Band. Oh my God. I'm telling you, Stephen Miller, dude, you just watch that guy and just the way he approaches people. The guy, I'm serious, he's straight up evil. Straight up. I really wish just to sleep in my comfy bed. 6 o'clock. Oh, wait. Yeah, Red, I'm sorry. Time to get up. Fabric that is back in its coffin. I hope he stays that way. And what you building, George? I'm just starting to assemble the Bawoo, the HG Bawoo, because I've got the stamen just is like, there's too many fiddly parts to it, and me trying to build that and do this, it's just like my brain can't process. Crazy Bastion, a couple charge, yeah. All right, let's get some pats here. Let's get some pats going. Come on. So, anyway, I got about another, say about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to call it a day. I was going to take over 6 months based on how he's talking. Oh, Tom, if it's only 6 months. If it's only 6 months. Dude, I come into this thing all fired up because I'm just itching all week. I mean, serious. I'm itching all week just to unload. HR, no parts snipped yet. Liar. Nick, you're like good crazy. My online school is only minutes away. That's convenient. So I woke up at 6 o'clock. Nice. George, once I get done on that SDGM sniper, I'm thinking about tackling the old MG Zeta. Want to go with me with your... Handren, my feeling is I'd make that commitment to you, and then I wouldn't honor it. So, yes and no. I can't, Handren, I love you too much. I'd be lying to you, and I can't do that to you. I'd feel guilty as hell. I got one more interview tomorrow, then hope they make the decision. Awesome, Tom. That's great, Tom. I hope, praying for you, brother. Praying for the best for you. Crazy is crazy. They all think they are sane. Crazy is crazy. I agree. Oh, good news, George. I'm going to do a 10-minute press talk with Bandai Namco on set. That's awesome. Dude, I heard that you guys are meeting up over at Bandai. Richie was saying that this morning. I love you too, brother. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it. Back at you, brother. They're in New York City. Is that shop in Manhattan, or is it in Brooklyn? Hey, saying it's us. That's crazy. I don't know. Why does the world look like a guy raising his arms like, woo? It kind of does, doesn't it? In Manhattan during the Japan Festival. Nice. I don't know much about the Japan Festival. Is that like a all day kind of thing in like all parts of Manhattan? Said I was insane today. One of your patients said that. Oh my God, that's fantastic. If you're talking about the Tamashi Nation. Yeah, I guess I am. Oh, damn, man, that's awesome. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Okay. 3 parts to put together. B25, B22. Am I missing a runner? Oh, I hate when they did it this way. No, I see why. Hello, Abdul. Men's Festival in Central Park. Apparently, my company is one of the sponsors. Apparently. Nice. I'm watching you from Malaysia. Welcome from Malaysia. I'm here in Massachusetts. Brooklyn has the Cross store. Okay, so Brooklyn has the Cross store and Tamashi Nation's in Manhattan. Okay, I think I knew that latter one. I get it all confused. God damn, that's awesome. So, guys, just not again, notice towards the end of this thing, we start bringing it down a bit. Good morning to you. Thank you, my friend, and good evening to you. Because I'm assuming, yep, in Malaysia, it is probably evening for you. My friends, I'm just going to leave it at this, trying to wind it all down. Good. 11 to 5 on the west side of Central Park. Nice. Manny, I keep threatening, but one of these days I want to come down and go to your Brooklyn meeting. I want to go to the Brooklyn IPMS meeting because those guys, like Bobby, I want to meet Bobby. Be 25 and 22. Company is encouraging us to go. Are they encouraging and paying? So, anyway, see, as we're winding down, guys, just once again, just go out there and do good, right? This is the point. Look, like I said, I'm not going to be able to. Let's link up, Tom. Yeah, dude, Tom, go. Dude, if I were in that area, well, I should say that this Saturday, well, it's Mother's Day weekend, which would make it a little hard for this weekend. I want to go to work for you. You want to go to work for me? Can't see why. I don't want to work for me. Go too far. Maybe one day I swing my big rig. Maybe you'll be bringing a load of Bandai stuff someday when we start getting that stuff shipped back into the U.S. I drive once through New York, never again. Yeah, I bet. Dude, I got to tell you, I drive just a car through New York and I get scared shitless. Yeah, kind of hard. I got a kid's birthday and stuff, George. That would be so nice. Bro, the first meeting I went to, the Brooklyn IPMS guys were wowed. I had a gloss code, and they wanted to know how I did. Exactly. That's the benefit of a lot of the IPMS stuff. These guys, if you actually sit down and talk to them, they want to learn from you as much as you can learn from them. Road is road, a drunk Russian driving a car. Guy should do a nuclear. Ooh, that's bad. You are invited to visit Malaysia, my friend. I would love to visit Malaysia someday. Honestly. I had to be a world traveler. Wait, they never did gloss coat? It depends. A lot of them don't, because a lot of it is like, what are you gloss coating? You know, armor is weathered. Cars might be gloss coated, but usually it's more than just spraying a gloss coat on. Show them the way, Manny. Exactly. Yeah, you really got to be nice to other people. Hold the door for someone, smile at someone, be friendly. Yeah, exactly. I think that's what we have to return to, Ken. We have to return to some of that stuff, that level of sanity where, you know what? Let's start showing our kids, once again, how to be nice, how to do right by our fellow human beings. You can Mac up then. But I like my tank shiny. I like my tank shiny too. Glassy. Small gesture to do mean a lot, especially when done. Yeah, exactly. And look, I'm not, like I keep saying to you guys, I'm not perfect. Car slowly transforms into a car. Car that slowly transforms into a car. Old school manners, man. Let's get back to that. Look, like I said, we're people. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to screw things up, and it's not always going to be, fun times. But let's at least try. One setting up a booth to show them how to mask and airbrush the gloss. They mostly do matte and semi-gloss. Yeah, do they also, they still meet once a week, right, Manny? Like in person? That's very cool, Manny. Yeah. See, that's the kind of stuff that's needed. It's like one of our first meetings, we had one of our guys do the same thing. He brought in his gloss coated MG Zaku, and the old guard were like, "How'd you do that?" It's kind of cool because you do things the way you're used to doing it if you're surrounding by people who do these things the same way all the time. Try Henry, it's just scheduling my time. Yeah. That's the hard thing about a lot of that stuff. It's just making the time or having the time, not even making it, it's having it. All right, guys. So as I'm starting to wind down, give someone a generous tip, compliment the cashier lady all the time. I love listening to Rocket Jump Waltz. I'm not sure what that is. Fly high, Rich. More power to you, brother. Exactly. All right, guys. So here's the lesson for today. Okay. And we're going to leave it at this. Okay. Don't be a douche. Don't be like the people that are running this country right now who are showing no sense of empathy, no sense of care for anybody else. Don't give a crap about you. Okay? Do the opposite. Show people love. If somebody's hurting, help them. If somebody you don't even agree with is hurting, help them. Just be nice, for fuck's sake. Exactly, Ken. But a douche cleans about you. Okay, fine. Just don't be a Decepticon. Don't be a Decepticon. Okay, I'll buy that one. Okay, but just go there and just do right by people. That's the only thing. Okay, again, I'm not trying to convert anybody. You can be whatever faith you want to be. I don't care one bit. But if nothing else, we can at least agree that Jesus was not a bad person. I don't care if it's a God thing or whatever. But at least he kind of showed that, you know what? Do right by people. Do right. Show them love. What's the greatest commandment? Love thy neighbor. Do right by people. In other words, don't be a dick, damn it. Exactly. So she's a Decepticon sticker on a car. Especially that. Okay? So go show love. Go show respect for people. Go show kindness to people. Do right. And one of the last things is, and sometimes doing right costs you. And that's okay, because that's doing right. So anyway, guys, that's enough of that's enough of this week's rant. Tomorrow morning, I'll be back on. I'm off tomorrow. I'm excited about that. Might actually get some hand brush painting done. Don't be a pyromane. Some young Team Fortress 2 fan. I don't know what that is, but that sounds about right, Red. So, guys, Do good. Enjoy the rest of the evening. I'll be back on again same time tomorrow. Red sees deeply into the life of a 9-year-old. I know he does, doesn't he? He really does. What's the Zoom? Did I say Zoom? I just mean tomorrow morning's live stream. If I said Zoom, I meant making a mistake. Sorry about that. Don't want to confuse anybody. You have to be invited. Exactly. You're not invited. Do good. Enjoy the day. Brighten the world as much as you possibly can. Show somebody respect, love, do good by people. All right, guys? I'll be back on tomorrow morning for the daily thing, and then I'll be back next Thursday. I'm sure something will have set me off, and we'll go from there. All right, guys? Do good. Love you all. Enjoy the evening. Enjoy the morning, and I'll catch you on the flip. Peace.